Hi everybody, welcome to Active Self-Protection Extra. Today, something a little different. The fetching and amazing Mrs. ASP, Laura, my wife, is here with me. I have an update today. I am, quite frankly, a little tired of getting comments about the hair, so I want to provide an update about the hair, and then I want to talk a little bit more generally about how we talk to people in internet space. Lucky Gunner is my recommended trusted provider of freedom seeds for range or defensive use. In stock, good prices, and rocket fast shipping are why I go back again and again. Because of new guidelines, I can't link their site or say it, but you're smart and you can find it with a simple Google search. Stick it to the man by paying them a visit today. First of all, it's a rarity for you to join us here on Active Self-Protection Extra. Thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you for making this video. I get a little bit, when people start saying things about my husband, I kind of get a little...
So it's kind of funny, in case you have been living under a rock for a while, I haven't cut my hair in a while. So if you were a fan of ASP from back in the old country, from the time that I enlisted in 95, but even before that, probably, I don't know, my freshman year of high school, like 89.
Short, yeah.
I had short hair, and so from 89 until 2022, so we're talking over 30 years, I kept my hair short. You know, some of that was military time, right? I spent 8 years in the Navy. It's been a long time since I was in the Navy, but I kind of kept it that kind of short, you know, close cropped look all the way through that. And then it was when we were on a cruise 2 years ago in early November that you were like, because I'd get this little flip. See, okay, what you can see here, you see the little gray here? That little gray here, that's where it would get a little flip in it. And you'd be like, oh, it's time for a haircut. And then you were like, I wonder what that goes like. I didn't even know I had curly hair, by the way. And you're like, you should let it grow a little bit.
Did I say that? Was that me?
That was you.
Oh, I totally don't remember that.
Really? So I started letting it grow. Unbeknownst to me, I have curly hair. I literally didn't know I had curly hair. Look, you want to see my curls are beautiful. They're delightful. They're super.
And
this is not, I've not had a perm. These are 100% natural.
You do get that question a lot.
I do. People are like, John, what's up with the Jerry curl? Or what's up with the perm? And I'm like, nah, man, this is just literally 100% natural. I literally get out of the shower, I put some curl cream in it, and then comb it through and then leave it alone.
And only the curl cream and product, because it'll puff out and frizz.
Yeah, if not, I look like Bob Ross, right?
Yes, that's true.
I'm painting happy little aggravated assaults on the channel. If I don't do that, it goes like this.
Yep.
Curly hair people, can I get an amen for that? And I think the other part of this, right? So if I'm just a little bit transparent for the moment, and I think sometimes people don't catch this because they only see a tiny bit of someone's real life when they make YouTube videos, right? And I don't consider myself a YouTuber. I'm an educator who happens to use YouTube as a primary medium. Is that I have a life, right? And a full orbed life outside of
wife?
Yeah, a wife, Charons. You know, we got multiple Charons and friends, and you know, like I have a public figure page that I do ministry stuff on too. I was a vocational pastor for 14 years, for those of you who don't know. And recently, my mom passed away, right? So my mom died September 13th of 2024, and after battling a glioblastoma for 3+ years. And she commented in particular, as the hair grew longer, that she liked it long, that she liked the longer hair. She was like, I really think that looks good on you, and I think you should keep it. And so that was like, all right, my mom likes it, you know? And we had our national conference the first weekend in September this year, so right before mom passed, and I shaved the beard off. And honest to God, my last communication with my mom was her saying she liked the beard off and the hair long. That she was like, oh, it's a good look on you, Johnny. You're not allowed to call me that. That's what my mom called me, was Johnny. And she said, I like that look on you, Johnny. You should keep it. And that's literally the last communication that I had from my mother. So when I get 20 comments every day for people who are like, you need to cut your hair, dude. No.
Gets under the skin.
Yeah, so that's what the hair is about, right? So the hair was, my wife was like, hey, I think you should try something different. And this woman who gets like 100 votes in what my appearance is like has told me, at least, that she likes the hair long.
I do.
And so guess what? She likes it. So if you see me with long hair and you don't like it, blame her. Or you can blame my dead mother. Now, that's a supreme jerk move if you choose to do that.
Yes.
Okay. So there's.
It's also rude to blame me though too. So
I mean, it's also rude to blame my
Also,
wife,
but,
who
you know.
is far more important to me than you are. And I love you all who are fans of active self-protection and active self-protection extra, but you ain't near as important to me as she is.
You love you. We love you as a general you.
Yeah.
That leads to the next part, I feel
Right.
like.
Yeah. So let's talk briefly about interaction with people online and making comments about people's body and people's appearance. I will say, I thank God that I'm not a woman in this space, because women have this 1,000 times worse than men. Like, I'd get fat shamed, and I got fat shamed for a long time, and then I've lost a bunch of weight, and I've gotten a little bit more muscular because I've been lifting and all that. So now what I get the shaming of is, John, that Ozempic is going to be bad for you later in life, right? And I got no problems with anybody that's used any semaglutide or GLP inhibitors or any of that stuff, man. If that helps you and it makes your life better, go for it. I haven't, right? I have used testosterone replacement because my testosterone was low, so I'm on TRT. And
A doctor.
yeah, under the care of a doctor, and lost about 80 pounds, put on a bunch of muscle. I feel great. My body feels great. But
You
again,
look great.
thank you. Look at, I win, swish. But also, again, people fat shaming has been a big thing. And then when I shaved the beard, oh my gosh, for weeks and weeks and weeks, that's all people wanted to talk about is, where's the beard? And like, it's a 50-50 split. Everybody's
Right.
like, yay, no beard. Or, oh my God, I can't even look at you without a beard anymore.
I'm kind of bummed that I didn't get to see the transformation. I do have to say that. Like, I would have loved to watch just how it all.
You had opportunity.
I was not awake.
You were napping during that time?
No, you did in the morning.
No, I did not. I did it during the conference on Saturday night between when I finished at the range and when
I
we
must
came
have been
for.
napping. I was napping. You're right.
Okay. So, yeah.
I do. I have a favorite pastime. It's napping.
Yeah, it's napping. And my incredible wife lives life with ADHD very successfully, but it doesn't always work in her favor.
It's true.
Dang it, Addie.
Boy,
it's
we
true.
love her.
So, shaved the beard off for the auction on Saturday night at the ASP National Conference this last year, which you're invited to next year. But I want you to recognize that sometimes we comment or you comment on the channel, and I do read comments, right? I'm one of our main comment moderators, and so there's this parasocial relationship thing that people think that they have the right to make comments about stuff, about my weight, about my beard, about my hair, and I think a lot of people are actually kind of well-meaning.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
About that. I mean, especially a lot of the weight comments. A lot of people are like, man, John, you look great. Well done. Congratulations. And I appreciate that. So people are like, the left-handed version of, man, I'm so glad you shaved that scraggly ass beard.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, do you realize how left-handed that compliment is? Like, that's rude. That's a rude thing to say to somebody. And well, now you got to shave that. Now you got to cut that hair. You look terrible with that long hair. And my thing is this. Look, if I were to go, like, my son has longer hair than I do, right?
Longer hair than I do.
Yeah. So James,
almost the same.
James, our son, got out of the Navy in 2019,
Mm-hmm.
and he hasn't had a haircut since he got out. So now it's been 5 years, and his hair is crazy long. He looks like Troy Polamalu for any NFL fans. Like, he's got like big long. It's not as curly as mine, but it's curly and it's long. And if I were to go to my son and go, bro, you really need to cut that hair. Well, he and I have a strong relationship, and he might consider. I still think he probably wouldn't do it, but he would at least. We would have a relationship from which to do that. He knows that I love him, and we have shared experiences together, right? And so if you say that to somebody your spouse, your child, your best friend, your coworker, somebody you have a relationship with, maybe that goes okay. But imagine if you're just walking down the street and somebody starts walking next to you and you just look at them and go, you need to cut your hair. And I know you go, but wait a minute, John, like you and I know each other. No, we have a parasocial relationship. I'm in your home on your screen, but I don't know you. And I see people, they come up to me all the time, right? Whether that's at Costco here in Phoenix, Arizona, which happens.
Right. Or the gas station.
Or the gas station.
Wherever, yeah.
Yeah, where did we stop? I was in Dalhart, Texas,
Yes,
I think.
I think it was.
Somebody comes up, oh, John, I'm a big fan. Can I get a selfie? Sure, yeah, I'm totally down with that too. That's like great for me. And ASP has a total social following around 4.1 million, which is larger than the size of the city of Los Angeles. Now, not the Los Angeles metro area, but the city of Los Angeles proper. But imagine walking around Los Angeles, and a lot of people know the mayor of Los Angeles, but the mayor doesn't know a lot of the people. And so they go, oh, and I think it's okay to say to the mayor, hey, Mr. Mayor, I think that your policy decision here was wrong. All right, you're my constituent. Let's talk about that. If you just walked up to the mayor and said, dude, you need a nose job. Like that.
Or, oh, could stand to lose 25
Yeah,
pounds,
dude,
huh?
you need to lose some weight, or something like that. So rude. And even if you're well-meaning, when you hear it 10, 20 times a day as you're going through the comments, it becomes this refrain of ugliness, okay? Because we don't have any relationship. It's just drive-by nothing. So my encouragement to you, this is why, like, now somebody else might say, but John, you're a public figure. And so you put yourself out there in public. And so therefore people have a right to say that. That's no different than the guy walking in public. Like just some random guy walking. Well, he's in public. He chose to go out like that. So I can say whatever I want to him. I think you'd almost never consider doing that. Because
unless you're on What Not to Wear and you're being secretly filmed.
Oh, okay.
Then
That's
you,
dated pop culture reference, by the
that
way.
still on?
That's at least 15 years out of date.
No.
Yeah. Okay. So somebody go research. When was the last time What Not to Wear posted a live
I
episode?
wanna know.
A new episode. I'm gonna guess 2009. It's like 16 years old.
Over, under. I say over. Oh, definitely over.
Okay. I'm gonna make an honest guess of 2012. Like 2012 is my honest guess when it died.
Slightly over. But you're right. You're not going to
Just
make
walking down the
comments
street.
to somebody that you don't know or who, you've maybe seen at the gym once in passing.
Right. A, because that's rude and your mama raised you better than that, right? B, in the real space, in meat space, if we were to do that, there might be consequences to that, right? I get a vote back. Like you might be like, John, you need to cut that hair. And I'm like, at least I have hair to cut, right?
Which
Now,
sometimes you...
Well, and I'll clap back on the internet. So listen, we do have other moderators at Active Self-Protection, and usually if they're gonna say something back, they'll say something professionally. But if it's a mom joke, it was almost certainly me. I'm just telling you, if it was, well, your mom likes it.
Of course, that's kind of we use that for fun and to make life good. So,
Right.
Well,
and listen, if you serve hard at me and I return serve hard and then you get mad, that's on you. But my encouragement to you is that's the case whether, if you're looking and you're like, oh, J-Lo's going through a divorce and she looks like she put on a few pounds. I don't know if J-Lo did put on a few pounds. I'm just using that as an example. I have nothing but respect for anybody else in the public space. But that's a jerk move. Like, you don't know what's going on in her world. If she is going through a divorce, I think she is right now. I'm not a huge pop culture guy, but I think she is. Well, then she's got hard stuff to deal with in her own life, and maybe you ought not comment on that. I know one that's been a big deal. Selena Gomez has said that she's had some health challenges and has put on some weight. I don't have the right to comment on that. I am not a part of her medical team. I don't know what's going on in her world, so I'm not going to make comments about that, right? And that's why here on Active Self-Protection Extra, for instance, we have other people that come and make content on the channel. We've had Destiny on the channel, who's awesome, and one of Laura's good friends, and one of my good friends too now. But for longer, Laura's good friend. Listen, good enough friends that her kids have flown with me in the little airplane, right? Like, so we're buddies. And I'm protective of her in comments, and Neil makes content, and Chris Bean makes content, and Carrie Dudenhofer makes content. Sometimes Stephanie Widener is on the channel. We have others from time to time who come on the channel. And listen, when you step into my living room, if you make disparaging comments about the people that I've invited into my living room, I'm gonna boot you and nobody is gonna miss you. That's where the bottom line is, because that is that consequence for being a booer online. And my encouragement is don't do it, So
and encouragement in general. I think we are getting towards a point in society where we're saying, don't make comments on people on people's physical features or anything. Like, in general, you don't know if they're super thin in a bad way. Maybe they have cancer. Maybe they've got an eating disorder. Maybe they, are super sad and can't eat or have some kind of issue. Just because people are thin doesn't mean that you get to comment on their weight. And just because they're heavier than you think that they should be does not mean you get to comment on, their weight there. Somebody's hair color, unless it's cool, and then you'd be like, oh, hey, cool hair,
right.
Or cool outfit. But if it's negative, just keep that to yourself.
Yeah, and there's that socially acceptable, like, hey, I like this and I appreciate this. So, like, there's that acceptable, I'll give you, for instance, of, if Laura comes and shoots on the channel, right? And you say, hey, Laura, her shirt says, I'd rather be watching Gilmore Girls. And people are like, oh man, I love the Gilmore Girls. And I think that's a great shirt. Fine. That's usually totally fine within bounds. Or I've got a Nathan Pyle shirt on today. I love me some Nathan Pyle. He's funny. But But if you were to come on and make a comment about my wife and be like, that lady, give me some of that noise. And I'd be like, friend, that's an inappropriate comment for you to say to my wife, right? Like, because even though that's approving, it's an inappropriate kind of comment. Because if you would walk up to her as a stranger and just say that, you're a jerk. That's like catcalling, right? That's just way out of bounds. Even though I can say it because I have a license. Quite frankly, we have a license. We've been married for almost 30 years now, believe it or not. We are old enough to have been almost married for 30 years.
I know.
Which is a little crazy.
And I like it. So.
And you like it?
Yeah.
You like that we've been married? No, you like it that I catcall you?
Well, both. So.
I mean, okay. There's that part. So, my thing is go back to that idea when we tie it into self-defense to being a good, sane, sober, moral, prudent person, right? A good, sane, sober, moral, prudent person treats other people with respect and treats them with kindness and doesn't make below the belt remarks, right? Doesn't use those jerk moves. And wins rounds of can you shut the heck up? Like there's stuff that I don't have to, so my wife said, because we have we replaced the word heck in non-polite conversation, but this is a family-friendly channel, so I try not to say the F word.
Yeah, no, I was impressed.
Yeah,
so that was my impressive
I
side.
try not to say the F word. Remember though, when you meet John in real life, I was a sailor, right? So there's that part. Just FYI. And I have tattoos too, so double sailored up and a tattooed sailor, no less. But be kind to people, right? Keep the comments in bounds. Here's the honest truth, man. You're gonna see it. If you make comments about my hair from here on out, I'm gonna link you to this video and say, argue with my dead mother. And then that is gonna be like the ultimate, I'm just gonna put all in on, not on your mom, on my mom.
Yeah.
And hopefully that shuts people down and lets it alone. Because, frankly, I like it. And it's gonna stay. It was the last communication I had with my mom, and she liked it, so it's gonna stay. My wife likes it. When my wife looks at me and says, okay, that's a little too long, it needs a trim, then it will go get a trim. Right now, when it's wet, it's a little bit below my shoulders at this point.
But also, I would never say that because it's your hair and it's your body. And I think you look amazing however your hair looks.
So she can say that, but you can't. So there's that. Curly hair, don't care. God bless.